What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Justin and on my channel I talk about all things real estate, money, and self-development. And for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my current team and systems in my own real estate investing business. Now, I'm not a real estate guru by any means, but I think it'll be beneficial to you to see how my current team and system is set up. I'm sharing not only who's on my team, but why I hired each member to give you an idea of how to hire yourself. I'm also doing a giveaway in this video, and I'm giving away a book that has been recommended by some of the best business owners I know. You have to do two things in order to enter this giveaway. The first is to subscribe to my channel, and the second thing is to leave a comment down below in this video, and I'm announcing the winner on my Instagram story in 2 days. But let's get right into the video. So as you watch this video, keep in mind I have not fully automated my business yet. That's the goal, to be able to step away and just to keep on running. I'm not there quite yet, but I'm working towards it. I currently have a team of 6 people, and those 6 people fill actually 7 different positions in my business. I'm going to share with you every single one of my hires in the order that I hired them and explain my thought process behind each hiring decision. And then I'm going to share with you the 4 key takeaways I want you to learn from this video so that when you hire yourself, you're kind of ready to do it on your own. So my very first hire was in March 2021. So that's 4 months ago as of the time I'm recording this video. And that first hire was actually a cold caller. The first thing I learned about business is that you don't have a business if you aren't consistently generating leads, no matter what the business is. And I cold called myself for about a good year and a half, I don't know. And when I got on the phone, I was really good. But the thing about cold calling is you have to do it consistently and you have to do it every single day, or at least a majority of the days of the week. And I told myself when I cold called, I probably set a goal about 3 hours a day to cold call. Well, realistically, I probably cold call like 30 minutes a day, an hour a day. And it was horrible. Like, I wasn't generating that many leads because I wasn't putting that much effort toward it. After a year and a half of just struggling and just frustrated that I couldn't get consistent leads, I made the decision to hire out that first cold caller because I needed to have consistent leads coming in. And that decision was the best decision I've ever made. I mean, I got a cold caller and she called 36 hours a week, and that first week I got more leads than I've gotten in months. It was insane because I was in a position to where I could actually afford a cold caller to pay hourly, and it was still scary. I mean, that was my first hire ever, because as my first hire, I wasn't even sure how long I could last, paying this person every single month without income. So it was a huge risk. I mean, I wasn't sure if I'd have income coming in from these real estate deals, but I still had to pay you hourly, and every single week I'd pay for 36 hours a week. It was scary. It's still scary to this day. But that was why I hired. I mean, I knew and I understood how to cold call because I did it myself for so long. So I knew if someone was good or bad at it. And that allowed me to hire out because once I got, audio recordings of how the cold caller was, I was able to understand, okay, is this a good cold caller or is this a bad cold caller? And luckily I got with a good one, my very first one. So that was hire number 1. So after about a month of getting consistent leads from this cold caller, I decided to hire a second cold caller. I mean, I was so ecstatic that I got consistent leads for the first time ever that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hire a second one. And once I got the second one, it doubled. The amount of leads doubled, and I was super happy about it. Even though I didn't close the deal yet from them, I was so happy because I know this is a big numbers game, and the more leads you have, the more deals eventually you will have. And so the only way to get more leads in my head at the time was to get a second cold caller, which I did. So that was my second hire. I hired my second cold caller, my second hire ever, and that's 2 hires in 2 months. My third hire was actually a project manager. Now, the duty of the project manager is to manage your flips, to make sure that the contractors are actually doing the job that they're supposed to be doing on the timeline that they're supposed to be doing it, and just making sure the rehab goes smoothly. That's the job. You could also call them a boots on the ground, the person there. And this hire actually came out of pure necessity. I recently moved from Fresno, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, but I was still buying homes in Fresno, California. And I realized that if I was flipping these homes, I couldn't reach the contractors anymore and go out to the properties to meet them and walk through the scope of work and do all that comes with flipping a home, because I didn't live there and I'm not gonna fly a state away every single time I'd have to meet a contractor. So I need to hire out. And my first instinct was just to call a good friend of mine. She was also a realtor. And I called her and I said, hey, I need help with this whole house flipping business thing. I'm going full time at it. I have no idea what I'm gonna pay you, but here's kind of the task that you would have to do through like a 6-week period, 8-week period. And I said, I don't know what I'm gonna pay you. What do you think is fair? And like, are you willing to do this? And luckily for me, she's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And we worked out a number that was fair, like a flat fee that was fair to pay for every single flip project. And it's worked out really well so far. And the only reason I was able to successfully hire this position out is because I've done this myself. I've managed projects, I've managed contractors. Before hiring this out, I probably managed about like 5 or 6 flips. And so I understood how to do it, so I was able to clearly explain to her, here's what you have to do. I set the expectations. It wasn't perfect, but I got the job done. So that was my 3rd hire, the project manager. My 4th hire was actually a video editor. So with all this house flip stuff going on, I actually wanted to share my journey and document my journey and just share as much information, whether it's educating people or entertaining people on the internet with social media. And I did this myself. So I edited my own videos for YouTube and for all the other platforms. I did it myself for, I don't know, maybe like a month. And I was a decent editor, like nothing close to great, but decent. Like I knew how to cut stuff, I knew how to add text and like animations and like basic stuff. But it took so much time, and I was realizing that I was spending so much time editing the videos that I wasn't spending enough time doing the work to actually work on my real estate investing business. And so I wanted to hire that out, and this was a very scary hire for me because it was something that I wasn't even sure would have a big return on investment early on. Social media is slow, and if you want to build a following, typically it's very, very slow and it takes time. And so imagine hiring something out where you're paying a big monthly fee for a video editor and you're not sure if you're gonna see any returns for the next year, 2 years. That's what I did. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna see a return in 2 years. And so I was terrified to hire this out, but I still did because I was like, you know what? I believe in social media, I believe in content creation, and here's why I'm gonna do it. It's because I think, and I'm betting on myself, that I'm gonna bring very good content to people and it'll eventually monetize for myself. And luckily I was true, but I'll explain what I meant in a bit. So that was my 4th hire, a video editor. And luckily this video editor, he did an amazing job and he allowed me to post so much more to social media, like across 7 different platforms. At the time, I was only really posting mainly to YouTube and Instagram, but with this new video editor, he allowed me to post to everywhere because he was able to chop and crop videos so that they fit the different platforms. It was amazing. So I had that video editor for about a month before I decided, okay, I think I'm ready for a 2nd editor. And you might be thinking, well, you're crazy for that. But actually, I experienced some of the benefits from posting on social media consistently. Now, overall, I was only posting to social media for about 2 to 3 months before I hired the 2nd editor. And in those 2 to 3 months, I had some massive benefits. No, I did not get monetized through ads on YouTube or any other social media, but I closed a real estate deal that made me a profit of around $16,000 in that time because of social media. And I also got a private money lender willing to lend me up to $5 million because of the good social media content I was putting out. He trusted me. So after seeing those benefits, I doubled down on the social media and I said, you know what? I want to hire a 2nd editor now. It's only been like a couple weeks of this, but it's been amazing so far. Now I get to post so much more content for you so that you can learn and be educated and be inspired every single video. All right, so far we have 5 different positions. We have 2 cold callers, 1 project manager, and 2 video editors. And keep in mind, all of these hires were done within the span of 2 to 3 months. Now after the 3rd month, I went to hire on 1 more person, and this was an outside sales agent. Now I hired this person because I realized being in Las Vegas and buying homes in Fresno, California, it's very, very hard to close deals on the phone. Meaning it's very hard to talk to sellers on the phone and try to buy their home via phone. without seeing them in person. A lot of sellers like to see someone in person so that they can build even more trust. And keep in mind, I think I'm pretty good on the phone. I think I'm very articulate, I'm clear, I'm confident. I can build rapport very well over the phone. But I still had not closed a deal from my cold callers in those 3 months, and I was starting to get antsy. But luckily, I had a really good coach, and I went to him, I explained what I was going through, and he said, okay, your problem is not your speaking or your sales on the phone. Your problem is that you don't have a guy on the ground trying to close the deal in person, because most deals that are closed are done in person. And that's what I didn't realize. So immediately I called a buddy of mine, he's also a realtor, and I pretty much asked him, hey, like, would you be willing to be kind of an outside sales agent for me? Your job is to try to close the deal, to get them to sell the home to me, and he would get a good equity split out of it if he was able to close the deal. And keep in mind, he's also a realtor, so I made sure that he was more incentivized to close the deal and buy the home than he was to just list it for them. So that's why I hired the outside sales agent, so that he can close deals in person when I'm unable to do on the phone. Now, my last hire is a lead manager. Now, this is my 7th hire, and it's my last hire as of current day. The duties of the lead manager is to pretty much manage the leads. So all the leads that come in, typically I'm the person who has been following up and calling these people every day, calling these people to try to buy their homes from them. And the follow-up was honestly starting to get a bit overwhelming. I was spending a lot of time following up, and I knew that I could spend my time doing higher dollar activities. So I decided to hire a lead manager. And all he's required to do is to work the leads from cold to warm to hot. And when the sellers are hot, meaning they're about to sell their homes and they're ready to go, that's when he'll tell me, and I'll get them on the phone and try to close it there. And if I can't close it, I give it to the outside sales agent to try to close in person. This way, I'm not spending all my time on the follow-up, and I'm mainly spending the time on the people who are ready to sign a contract. So those are the 7 positions of my team at this moment. I have 2 cold callers, I have 1 project manager, I have 2 video editors, I have 1 outside sales agent, and I have 1 lead manager. And then I have me, who does everything else, which is a lot. And now that you know what my team looks like, I want you to take away 4 lessons from my hiring process. The first lesson, and I think it's the most important lesson, is to only hire someone if you have the capacity to keep them on for a long term. Now keep in mind, when you hire someone, even if it's just a VA or a virtual assistant who lives in like a third world country, they're still a person and they have a family, and they are relying on you to make sure that you pay them so that they can feed their family. I used to think that when you hire someone that they work for you, but really it's flip-flopped. I feel like I am working overtime and I am working for them because I want to make sure that I do my work so that I can feed their families. It's not about me, it's more than me now. So that's the most important lesson right there. Make sure you outsource when you're ready. The second tip is to outsource when you're starting to feel overwhelmed. Now remember my very last hire, the lead manager. I only hired this position because I was starting to get overwhelmed with all the follow-up. And the solution in my head is I needed to outsource this so I could focus on the high dollar tasks of my business, which was not follow-up at the time. The third tip is to outsource when you're not that good at something. Now keep in mind my very first outsource or my first hire, the cold caller. Now I was really good when I got on the phone, but I was horrible at staying consistent at calling a lot every single day, so I sucked at it. And that's why I outsourced it. I needed my lead generation to be consistent and to have someone good at it and have someone better than me. And I found people that could do that. The fourth and final tip is to only outsource something when you are confident that you understand the position yourself, and honestly, when you've done it yourself. Every single one of my positions that I've hired out, I have done myself. So I understood the ins and the outs of every single position because that helped me understand who was good at it and who was bad at it. And it helped me train these people as well. I hope me sharing these tips and about my current team and my systems has helped you a ton. And if you found value in this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.